How are Newcastle United possibly going to win enough points without Wilson, Saint-Maximin and Almiron? Steve Bruce's job just became even more difficult. Coming off the back of a game where we had the chances to win with only 1 point is bad enough, especially at this stage of the season when every point is so important. However, not taking the clear-cut chances to put Wolves to bed is not as big a concern as what may be to follow. Having won just 2 matches in the last 17 attempts and taken just 7 points in 2021 so far, that's out of a possible 33 points since New Year's Day, we were already on a bad run. I feel like I'm understating that. We are on a horrendous run. In fact, one of the worst runs of form we've ever been on since the last time we got relegated. And to make things worse, and to highlight the fact we didn't take all 3 points from Wolves despite having huge chances missed by Willock, Joe Linton and Almiron, we now look likely to be without Saint-Maximin and Almiron for the foreseeable future. At the time of recording this, we're not sure how long either of those players will be out for. That'll become clearer as the week progresses. The fact they're having scans is not a good sign. We're already missing Wilson too, which has probably cost us points already. I'm sure Wilson could have taken a chance or two against Wolves the other night, the way we were playing in the opening half hour or so in particular. So what does Steve Bruce do against fellow strugglers West Brom this weekend? The fact Bruce gets to be in charge of this fixture is a whole other video in itself, but at this point I feel that ground has been well worn. The first thing he has to do, in my opinion, is play the best remaining striker we have, and for me, that's Dwight Gale. Gale has proven in the past he is a good Championship level striker, and against West Brom we're playing one of the weaker Premier League teams. Of course, Gale spent a loan season at West Brom, and I would fancy him to give us a good chance of scoring a goal or two against them on Sunday. The question is, where will the creativity come from? Almiron and Saint-Maximin do a lot of the work that leads to chances that we create and the goals we score. Saint-Maximin has 3 assists this season, but take that goal against Wolves as an example of his input. Yes, Fraser had the assist in the end with his wonderful cross, but Saint-Maximin's trickery on the left directly led to the goal being scored. Almiron surprisingly only has 1 direct assist this season, however his link-up play and running helps us in ways that the statistics don't always record. I mentioned Fraser just then, and I'd definitely play him on the left as Saint-Maximin's replacement. He has the pace and ability to be an outlet and a threat, and to be perfectly honest, I wish we'd seen more of him this season anyway. Bruce will likely stick with Joe Linton as he seems to be undroppable for some reason, which is a mystery to all of us, but I wonder, rather than play him out wide, if he could be more of a support guy to link up with Gale through the middle, sort of where Almiron tends to play. Clearly he's a very different type of player, so you get a very different style to Miggy's endless running. That'd leave space on the right hand side, and I wonder if someone like Jacob Murphy comes in. I think he'd be at least very lively and would mitigate a little bit for the pace we'd lose with Almiron and Saint-Maximin both out. Perhaps not ideal, but what other options do we really have? There's Jeff Hendrick, he can play on the right, but I'd rather play someone who's a bit more direct and has pace to take on defenders. Sean Longstaff, I guess, is the other possibility, although he does seem to have fallen out of favour with Steve Bruce anyway. But I think in that situation, you'd be relying on Fraser to be your only direct outlet in that scenario, and I feel like that would be problematic. It's really important that we have some pace in the team and directness, otherwise our attacking will become even more predictable than it already is. I mean, we all know the squad is thin on quality, and the players coming in aren't as good as the 3 who are out injured, but in Fraser and Murphy I actually think defensively we might look a little bit more compact, and particularly down the left Fraser would much more likely help Lewis out than Saint-Maximin ever does. It's just the result of that is we'll likely end up being less of a forward threat, which is already a bit of a problem for us anyway. There's definitely tactical adjustment that would need to happen, but I'd hope that Graham Jones has enough influence to kind of make that happen over Bruce. We'll see if that's the case, I guess, but I do think that he might be able to find something that could work. I do believe we can get a result at the Hawthorns, but it is going to be a huge, huge ask, as it always is with Newcastle these days. Options are limited with the squad we have. The quality's not fantastic, it's just the way it is, unfortunately. But that's my solution anyway, I guess, is kind of Murphy and Fraser on the wings. It would at least give us a bit of pace and a bit of something going forward, I guess. But I would love to know, who would you play in this game? Who would you play against West Brom if Saint-Maximin and Almiron are both out as we expect them to be? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and I will see you really soon for another video.